that's a very exciting topic on CEO.
Good morning. Yeah, so before I start, I'm Arjun Mohan. I am the CEO of upGrad, and I'll speak a bit about what upGrad does. Before upGrad, I used to work in a company called Use. I was the Chief Business Officer and one of the founding members. So when I thought about what should I present to a set of people, all from finance background, I thought that a good place where I can start is the key difference between upGrad and Use, if I put it in a very direct manner, pertaining to the CFO CEO partnership or the finance and the business partnership. So that's predominantly what this session is about. I'll speak about multiple reasons for our success today, but the major reason where I'll focus is this. I feel that where I have such bright people from finance background, a perspective from business will make a lot of sense. Alright, so that's what the session is going to be. That's a quick introduction. Before I start off, I want to talk a bit about upGrad. upGrad today is India's largest higher education online company. When we started this organization, this is much before me. I joined the organization post-COVID in 2020. The organization started in 2015. The founders started this with an objective of changing the higher education ecosystem in India. They saw a system which was predominantly broken. We saw that the GER or the gross enrollment ratio for Indians in college were low because of three reasons: access, affordability, and low quality of education. And government has liberalized higher education for decades now. Private universities are diamond-tested. Still, this percentage which you are talking about hardly went up by 3 percentage points. So the founders of our organization surmise that this is because the number of universities required to educate Indian youth in colleges is so high, and we never can find this group. So the solution was solve it online, and that's what we did. We did multiple platforms. We did a great platform which allowed us to replicate what a high quality university will do online. Everything that a university can do online, which is lectures, counseling, coaching, literally. So that's the end of journey. Always, we started with an entrepreneurship course, big thing. Then we moved into more upbeat, new generation courses like data science. Finance is something which we did not touch much, and I'll explain to you why it was so. One part they were always clear about is they were obsessed about learning outcomes. Is the customer or the learner coming to me getting the outcome he or she is looking at? The outcomes typically where I want to transform into a new domain, or I want to get promoted in the same job I am doing. And largely it was about what some of the people here said: professional confidence. How do I make myself look as a very successful person in my own organization? Is there skill sets which I can get in so that I am successful? I am working very hard. I can connect the point which you said that CS are doing everything in finance, but the organization wants me to have great presentation skills and interpersonal skills. And this is what majority of the people told us. So the product we build, or the products we build, takes this into account in a large way. So that's what the story moved on, and we have more than 80%. This number is 89% today. So 89% of the people who start the course with us complete the course. Now compare this with the MOOC platforms like Coursera, where the completion rate is 2%. Right? And that, I believe, is the biggest contribution we have made to online education today. Now today, this is a very successful company. From any metric I can talk about, we crossed 1 million plus learners in 2020. By 2022, we have crossed 3 million learners. We have been growing 100% year on year. We are projected to do around 400 million this year in revenue. And revenue is revenue, not GMV. Right? Money in the bank. Our core business broke even in Q1 and has been profitable, sustainably so. Our customer metrics are extremely good, every level. So I can proudly say that we are a unique company in the edtech space in India. And what I want to speak today is why is it so? And that is where the CEO-CFO relations comes so importantly. But let me talk a bit about the other things. One of course is the market. We are sitting on a huge market world over, not only in India but across the world. I mean, I am a big believer that the edtech industry world over will be run and controlled by India because of the simple reason that we have exceptionally good teachers at economic prices and great engineers who can take their voice across. So this market exists and it exists for everyone, but only some people have been able to crack it, majorly because education is the fifth priority for anyone, especially after you have a job. That's reason number one. But reason number two, which is what I wanted to speak a lot about today, is the fact that from day one, upGrad has been a company which focused a lot on governance. And I don't think it is a person problem or a company problem. I would see it more like what the environment looks at you. You do understand, you do know that the startup ecosystem is obsessed with top line. And over a period of time, this top line has become more like gross revenue, GMV, so on and so forth. Somewhere in the process, people have forgotten that cash flow is the most important and the factor which decides the sustainability of the business. And this is, in my view, the biggest issue today. If the investors speak this language, it is obviously, the CEO will speak the language. You can't help it. You will say that, okay, I have this customer and I'm locking the revenue as 100 crores. Although the customer has only paid me money for a month, I am showing his revenue for the next 2 years, 3 years. You will do it if you are allowed to do it. So I would say this is more from the environment. If you are getting a valuation based on that, why not? I mean, connect it back to the dot-com booms. Companies were evaluated on number of eyeballs they got. It's the same thing. It's the same way which keeps coming when the cost of money in the market goes down. Right? The investors have access to low cost funds which they have been pooling into startups in India, or for that matter China earlier, now mostly India. So this is a tough thing to ignore as a business head or as business. If there is access to such low capital, why wouldn't I do it? And this I believe is a tough decision a CEO or the management should take when you are deciding to take your path. We took the tough path. Of course, it curtailed the growth and valuation of the company till some time. But once you get it right, things will flow. It's finally about what you accept. And this, I believe, is where the finance arm was so important. See, we keep saying that the finance guys are controller. That this title which we used to give to CFOs earlier, right? Finance controller. His work is all about controlling. His work is all about saying that don't do it. I don't see it that way. I think that yes, compliance and control is extremely important. But once the CFO understands that the person is an enabler, but at the same time, he should put his foot down when it's a no. And the CEO should respect it. That's when I think the partnership goes in. So, at least and thanks to my chairman to set up an organization which has that right culture. My chairman is Ronnie Screwvala. He was the CEO of Disney earlier, Disney India, and then he started this company. So he was very clear that we have to work like an organization which will go for an IPO in New York Stock Exchange. Have that compliance now itself. Have that controls now itself. And hence he created from day one a strong finance and a legal team. Honestly, for a person who came from an organization like Byju's, it was a pain in the ass in the beginning. But over a period of time, you understand the importance of this. You understand why is it so. And all marks to the finance team who realized that it is a push and pull game. They also gave in to things which they understood that can be worked out. Now it's always a bleak line, right? It's always a push and pull game. But eventually, we are able to create an organization which were clearly policy, metric and planned. So today what we do is like the constitution. There's only one final document, that's a B plan. You sign up for that, and that's it. You fight on that plan. But once you sign up on that, you're better follow that. And both the parts of the organization agrees to that. And of course, based on the P plan, we have large number of metrics. When we are obsessed with the MISs and the metrics, we keep following on this. We ensure that we are on top of things all the time. It becomes a pain at times for the sales folks and the marketing folks, but that's how we want to do it. And of course, the respect for each other. I just put that number there. I'm sure that you all recognize what this number is. I don't want to delve in more details of it. But this I see as the outcome of not following things which should have been followed. So that, I believe, is a very important thing, and I felt that this audience here should be told this, because if at all in your career you're getting too many pushbacks, you should use this example. Another thing, and this also is important from this audience perspective. See, the current year, not only current year, ever since 2019, it's been pretty tough for business. If anyone says that it has been easy, no, it's not been easy. It's been tough. Things have been changing regularly. So many issues, customer perception changes, expectation changes. It keeps on and on. So every year, if you ask me, the strategy which had to be followed to get growth has been very different. See, from a CEO's perspective, I typically have 3 levers for growth. I have the business lever or the sales lever, I have the marketing lever and the brand lever, and I have the product and the program lever. These are the typical lever I have as a CEO. But fact of the matter is, this year specifically has been so challenging that all 3 levers have been not giving the required growth. So what we did was, we took advantage of this post-pandemic situation, and we used a lever which is not traditionally used by the company. The lever is called as our stock lever, right? Which means that we saw that after the pandemic there were a lot of small organizations, great innovative organizations with the right product, but they did not have the capital or the brand to go to the next level of growth. So we went to these companies who were adjacent to our market, saying that, hey, let's do this, let's partner together. You become part of our subsidiary and we will acquire you just as a share swap. This process was a win-win for literally everyone. We got this access to this market, which would have been a lot more tougher if we had built it ourselves. We got new entrepreneurs, we got entrepreneurs who knew this market very well to work as leaders in our organization. And they finally got access to capital and a great brand in upGrad to propel their business forward. Now this was only possible because of that synergy. Because our CFO understood that it's a very non-traditional way to do, but still under the government's policy. And it's not just India deals, okay? There were international deals. We had acquired a company in Australia also called GSP. So pretty complex thing to do. A traditional finance system would have taken really long time figuring all this, but the organization which we have moved really fast on all this. So this and we created in effect an integrated lifelong learning company. We are a big proponent of this idea of lifelong learning. We believe that in this ever-changing world, anyone and everyone should continuously learn and acquire skill sets. Otherwise, tomorrow somebody will tell you that I have a better youngster who can do your job at half the price. That's what the rule is. So we believe in this and that's what we keep doing it. So hence we have products for people from 18 years to 55 years. Actually it's not 55 years. Till the end of your career, whenever you want it. And this is what we have built as a product. We do learning experience at scale. Currently we have the metrics you can see there. 75 million hours, 60 million data points, 15 million coaching hours, and 89% is the right number, outcomes delivered. We have a program for every stage of a working professional, whether it's bachelor's, master's, doctorate, and the good part is you can do all these things online while you are doing your day job. So that's the biggest problem, right? In a country like India, you start working immediately after your bachelor's degree or your professional degree, and then your growth is so good that you don't want to take a break. That will break your salary. So how do we solve it? We solve it by providing options which you can do along with your job. And that's what we do. The final slide, so this is the highlighting part of the outcome we told you. So we have an integrated organization where we believe that outcomes which a student is looking has to be provided by us, although it's not part of our core responsibility. So what we did is that we went and acquired 2 placement companies. One in the non-tech space called as Recruit, another in the tech space called as Wolves. These 2 organizations are closely integrated with us and they provide placement opportunity to students who do our courses. So as part of this, we've been able to provide around 5 students 1 crore plus package in the last 1 year. Now inside our organization we celebrate this because this 1 crore was a very psychologically a very important number for us. And hence this slide because we're just trying to show off a bit here. Just to come to the end of it, I spoke about, because this is one question I keep getting from most of the places where I go to. So because we believe in lifelong learning and for people like you who is already at a very successful stage in your career, the question for you is, does it make sense for me to do upskilling? To solve this or to answer this question is where we got this program called as a doctorate program. It's called as a doctorate in business administration. It is basically a PhD equivalent for people like you who are already very successful and in a career where you don't want to take a break. So it's not PhD, it's not academically oriented like this. It's fundamentally about doing a PhD equivalent or a doctorate degree in the subject you are already working. So it doesn't need you to take a break from your career. You do it through two reputed universities, one in Switzerland and another in USA. And as always, we deliver it online with some immersions where you go on campus. So for people like you, I thought it was a good idea to talk about this program also. If you want to know more, our team is here. Please get in touch with them and speak a bit. But that's pretty much about what I wanted to speak. I think in time, or maybe ahead of time, so I can take a couple of questions if you have anything which I spoke.
Yeah, it was nice and inspiring, the story you had. And I just want to understand from a perspective, in a short span of 7 years, how the growth happened. Do you think the strategy, what you have adopted, that worked well? In spite of this pandemic, the growth is abnormal and very good. And what do you feel, beside the CEO, CFO, what you call the synergy, what helped you in just a couple of your parameters?
Got it. Yeah, thank you so much. So first of all, the growth did not happen all throughout. So if you look at the history of the organization, right, the first few years, especially between 2015 and 2020, the organization were obsessed about getting the product right. So it was all about testing, looking at how the first few batches came out, are they getting outcomes, so on and so forth. It's only after the confidence came by 2020 that this is ready, that we started going aggressive in the market. Now unfortunately in 2020 COVID happened, right? So I wouldn't say that it was one strategy. The baseline of the strategy was to build a product which will give outcome to the customer. That's always there, there's no question about it. But the tactical part of it or the executional strategy continuously changed. For instance, in 2020, when everyone in the early days of COVID was saying that, okay, now it's time to not do anything, don't spend much, let's keep quiet and see where it is going. We said that no, it's not the time to do that at all. Our customers are sitting at home, they have discretionary income, they are ending up spending less, they are all confused whether I have a job, they will think about what else should I do to save my job. So 2020 was actually the time when we went all out and pulled the levers of sales and marketing in a big manner. We also got access to very cheap marketing because none of the companies were marketing and we were able to do that. We actually shot our ad during the pandemic times. Our entire crew, which went out for a day to just do the outdoor shot, got COVID after that. I mean, it's a bad thing to say, but that's what happened, although they wanted to go out. So what I'm trying to say is that, so that was clearly the strategy in the first 1.5 years. Post-COVID, everything changed again, right? Then it was more about how do I go into more niches of working professional, because now after we did everything, the whole idea of doing work, studying during your work in different domains is becoming an acceptable norm. So then we launch courses in multiple domains like HRM, like healthcare management, the doctorate program, so on and so forth. So it is more like the product expansion. This year, fundamentally, it's been about acquisitions. The core business is growing healthy, but to get to that 100%, we had to go out and bring in these companies. But it worked out quite well because they were on anyway adjacent spaces which we wanted to be. So the execution strategy has always changed. But I think in this current world, it will have to change because the customer expectations is changing. The trend I'm seeing for the next year is that now, because upskilling has become so accepted, more and more companies are open to paying for the learner's choice of the product, which is the reason why there's so much of focus on B2B for the next year. So specifically, see the thing is, I think some of you also mentioned about the soft skill part and aspect, right? So, and there are a lot of these courses in the market. For instance, all the big universities in US today does this 3 weeks course, 4 weeks course. If you ask me personally, right, to develop these skill sets, right, what we believe in and what we have always seen is that a very short course where you are asked to take a break from your day job and do it is not really effective. What we believe is that you need to have an extended one, a personalized one, which is driven largely by a mentor. A mentor may not be an expert in finance, but is an expert in the things which you want to do. So that's, and the person will figure out, the coach will figure out what is that is missing for you and then moving in that direction. So it's not one course. It is more like saying that it's an integral part of most of the courses. So I don't have a specific thing saying that I have a 3 weeks program on helping finance directors to become CFOs. We don't believe that kind of courses really work. Rather, we have a large group of courses, and then we say that come and look at it, go deep into it, understand what are you looking at, and then pick one of them. On the finance side, the number of courses we have is restricted. But what I believe is that when you're already such experts in finance, it's not finance that you want. It is more about the coaching and the mentoring aspect of it, which is the reason why I was told to say you should talk about one course. I spoke about doctorate, because that involves a lot of research, a lot of handholding, a coach being involved in it and telling you how to take your career. So that would be my answer for that question. Yeah.
I was just looking, sharpening the saw.
Yeah.
One of the things which we need to continuously do as CFOs.
Correct.
So if, in fact, I have googled, upGrad and.
Yeah.
But I could not get full this thing.
Yeah.
That will be helpful for other professionals.
Absolutely. So what I would suggest is we have our team. If you can specifically tell us what it is even possible for us to customize and make something. We believe in that because that is where you get the outcome. Because everyone here is unique and your requirements are different. So then we will try to put in the right things through the course so that you get that. Yeah, thank you.
Hi Arjun, Tarun this side.
Yeah, sorry.
Take the questions offline, please. We're already out of time.
Sure. Can I take this one? Yeah.
Just last one, sure, thank you. Arjun, great story. What mix of things I would think?
Yeah, so personally speaking, I think that we have come to a stage where that difference in the medium is slowly disappearing. But as you rightly said, there are certain aspects which when done offline gives the right outcome. So most of our courses we have started doing offline now after the opening up. So there are immersions, there are base camps where the social aspect which the batch wants to build when they meet together is taken care of. So you can actually say that although we say online, these are all hybrid courses because there are some 10% of it will be done offline. But it's not compulsory now because what we see is that the working professionals say that I don't have time. If I had time, why would I come in? So hence we have made it optional. Thank you so much. Hope it was a good session and you all enjoyed it.